What is going on, Halo fans? Luke the Notable here, and in this video we are going to be talking about why the newer Halos make more money than the old Halos. Now this video can apply to pretty much every game. This is a trend that every game and game developer is seeing nowadays. New games are just simply more profitable, and I'll be explaining why in this video. But I think when you talk about the Halo series, a series that has been around for so long, something interesting happens. Now unfortunately I'm not able to get hard data. No game developer releases all of its individual data about any game that it's ever sold. All the data that I'm getting from this has been from multiple Google searches trying to find sources that both say similar things. You may find it interesting that Halo 3 sold over 12 million copies and made anywhere from $300 to $400 million. But what if I told you that Halo 5 sold just over 5 million copies, way less than half, and made over $500 million? Well, the obvious answer is, Luke, they probably just lie. Now, the reason that argument is invalid is Microsoft is a publicly traded company, and I got these numbers from Microsoft pages. If they were to publicly lie about profits for their games companies, I would think there would be some legal action there. So any numbers posted by any Microsoft employees or unofficial Microsoft site should be valid. Well, something seems weird about this. How can Halo 3 sell 12 million copies, double the copies of Halo 5, but make $100 million less? There have been a lot of changes recently in the gaming scene that can make games more profitable. If you look at Halo 4, it sold about 10 million copies and grossed a little bit more than Halo 3. Most sources put it on the low end at about $400 million, but it still doesn't explain how Halo 5 selling half the copies of Halo 4 made just as much, if not more money. $100 million more. I mean, that's enough money to buy 33,444,816 rec packs. Okay, so let's go back in time to the Halo 3 days in 2007 and look at how game developers made money. Because the math doesn't make sense right here. If you took the 12 million copies that Halo 3 sold, multiply that by 60, which is the price of a game, you would get $720 million. That's almost double what the game actually made for Microsoft. And that's because back in 2007, most games were sold by retailers, people like Walmart, GameStop, wherever you got your games. Microsoft would sell games to someplace like GameStop for, say, $20 to $40. GameStop then puts it on their shelves for $60 and collects the profit, meaning depending on the game, Microsoft was only making anywhere from $20 to $40 per copy sold. And primarily, this is how every Halo game has been sold except Halo 5. See, prior to Halo 5, even in the MCC days, which did release on the Xbox One, there was a lot of negative backlash to Microsoft giving us digital downloads. And in 2014, when the MCC released, yeah, digital downloads were a thing. You could buy the MCC for a digital download. But I think the technology was still new, and they weren't offering enough benefits to downloading something digitally. And a lot of us just wanted to have that physical game in our hands. I've bought every Halo game on release since Halo Wars, and I've always had a case. Lots of other people have always had the case. You probably stack all your cases up next to each other. But I think with all the benefits now coming to digital download, Halo Wars 2, which is coming out pretty soon, is probably the first game that I'm going to digitally download. There's a lot more benefits to digitally downloading now. One of the main ones is you can download the game before it even comes out. So midnight when the game's supposed to come out, you can be playing it. For Halo 5, I had to go out to a midnight release, wait to get my game, came home, downloaded it, and I wasn't playing it till the next afternoon. Not only that, but some games are actually giving you early access a few days before anyone else to get onto the game and start playing it. Microsoft and other developers are starting to roll out more reasons for you to download your games digitally, and think about it. If they sell their games directly from the Microsoft Store, they cut out the middleman. They don't have to sell their game for $20 to $40 to GameStop or Walmart. They can sell it direct to you for $60. This means that every game they sell, they're making double the profit. And on games where they would only sell to GameStop for like $20, they're making triple the profit. And that is primarily why Halo 5 has sold half the copies but made more money than any other Halo game. Microtransactions are another reason modern game developers are making more money. While generally seen as pretty bad in most gamers' eyes, microtransactions, you can't deny that they do make game developers more money after the game is released. I'm all for game developers making more more money. I don't want game developers to be poor, and I don't want them to be servants to me. I want them to live luxurious lives. Why? Because when game developers have a lot of money, generally, they make better games. Like digital downloads, a lot of developers are still trying to figure out exactly how to get this right, where players don't see it as greediness and it actually somehow helps the developers. It is a fine line to cross, but I think the rec packs in Halo 5 have been great so far, and if they improve them for Halo 6, things are going to be awesome. I mean, look at how much money the rec pack system made for Halo 5. 343 was able to fund the biggest console esports prize pool in history, $2.5 million. Not all of it was raised by rec packs, but most of it was. That's a lot of extra money tacked onto your game. When I think about something like this, I think about how cool it would be for a game to use this kind of thing to help out the content creators that create and promote its game on things like YouTube and Twitch. I'm not saying like 343 needs to write me a check or anything. What I'm saying is 343 and other developers can use funds created from the game to then fund things like cosmetic items specifically for people like YouTubers and Twitch streamers, using funds generated by the community to then grow and foster the community itself. But the last and final reason why Halo 5 has made more money than Halo 3 is Halo 5 can be sold from the Microsoft Store year-round for 100% profit. Back when Halo 3 released in 2007, game developers made money on the first couple days of its release. However, after a month or so, there was no need for you to buy a game for full price. A lot of people just couldn't buy a used title. So a month after a game came out, there was no reason for a retailer like GameStop to go to Microsoft and pay premium price for a game that I could get much cheaper from some kid that was just bored with it. GameStop actually has a very helpful tool on their website now where you can check how much a game is worth if you go and trade it in. And right now, Halo 5 Guardians will get you $7, but you can buy a used one on their store for $24. Why on earth would GameStop ever shell out $20 to even $40 for a new copy of Halo 5 if they can make quadruple profit buying it off some kid? From the day of its release, Halo 5 has been available, and it will probably be available forever, or at least until the next console comes out. My point is that Microsoft can make a lot more profit off their games all year round if people decide to buy it digitally. Before I go, I do want to hammer home the point that none of these things are bad. I don't think digital downloads, microtransactions, or any of the things that I mentioned in this video are a bad thing. I think they're generally good. And now I want to thank you all for watching. If you've never seen me before, please hit that subscribe button. You will be glad you did. It's just one easy thing that can give you all of my Halo content whenever I release it. That, and I think I'm going to be doing a lot more of these videos where I look at the overarching gaming scene in general. Check out the videos on the screen. I think you'll like them. You can also hit my little logo to subscribe. Thank you all for watching. Stay notable, and I will see you in the next video.